I'm Prash Williams from Big Picture Film Club, joined by my co-host, and we are joined by Abid Khan, director of Granada Nights. Can you please tell us a bit about Granada Nights and what the story's about, and what can we look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, Granada Nights is a self-discovery coming-of-age film. It's set in Granada in Spain, in Andalusia. And the film follows a British tourist who goes to Spain to be with his girlfriend. But when he arrives, the relationship he discovers is kind of over. And he's stuck in Spain. And it's his journey of basically discovering himself through the people that he meets and the friendships he makes with other foreigners. So there's this kind of sense of belonging story. And it's really a love letter to the Granada, but also kind of to the study abroad experience as well. I studied abroad when I was younger, and it's kind of inspired from the friendships I made in that city. I kind of that was my inspiration, and I kind of went back to that year after year after year, and then after God knows, I think maybe 12 years of working on it, we finally made it actually.
12 years is a long labor of love.
Yeah.
How do you? At what point? Were you like, all right, I need to like hit the camera on and like get this filmed and get this going, or rather than kind of tweak or kind of focus on the pre-production side of things?
Yeah, I think I guess. So we shot the film in 2018, actually, funny enough. It seems because of COVID, it's been delayed. So I think 3 years before that, 2015, I think I made a real effort of telling people I was going to make the film. Even though I probably didn't have finance in place or anything in place to make the film. I think the fact that I told people was kind of a
manifesting.
Yeah. The expectations started to build from there, and then in those 3 years it was a point of kind of raising finance, going to film markets, going to Granada several times, perfecting the script, making connections, and trying to switch that light on.
And particularly in a time like ours where for those who might not know, with indie films, it's quite a challenge to kind of raise finances for films and kind of securing budgets. How did that process work for you? Did you crowdfund? Did you get investors on board? Or
yeah, I mean, I think firstly I tried to get a producer to do that because that's one of the easiest things, but Unfortunately, I mean, I went to a lot of places. So I went to a lot of film markets, Cannes, Berlin, and met lots of really great producers who were very interested in the film. But unfortunately, a lot of people in Spain and Granada wanted to do business with me in a way. And I always was going through me to kind of speak to producers. So in the end, I decided to produce it myself and raising finance. It was a mixture of different things. We had some investors on our film who actually studied abroad with me back in the day, back in 2006. And now they've become, kind of comfortable and were able to invest in the film. I also did some medical trials as well. I did that kind of for myself, to be honest, rather than the finance. I did it to see how far I was willing to go to kind of make this film happen. And it did actually kickstart the process, because I think a lot of the investors looked at that and said, well, he's actually, really wants to do this and really going for it for his first film. And then they came on board. We did a crowdfunder as well, went to Granada, reached out to a lot of international students. And that was great for reach, I think, to build an audience. And I think it was all these little things coming together.
The film itself sort of mixes, as I understand it, kind of documentary elements with sort of like a fictional sort of narrative. How did you piece that together in that sort of way to kind of merge these styles?
Yeah, lots of different ways. It's interesting, I think, because this film is based on my time in Spain and the friendships I made. I really wanted to capture the real authentic kind of experience. So it started very early by writing the script on location. So if a particular scene was set in a street, in a cafe, I would be in that cafe, in that street, listening to conversations and bringing in those conversations into the script things that I saw, lights, maybe even shot lists and things like that while I was writing. So it was a very kind of organic process of going to the city, reliving those moments and kind of writing. And the kind of documentary elements, I thought, well, if we're writing from the heart of Granada, we're using the people of Granada, we're using the locations, and why not showcase some of the important events that happen here that are so much in part of the fabric of the city, like the Easter processions, which happened during Semana Santa, which is a crazy time. I've, as a foreigner, to witness that, it's kind of scary, but it's also quite mesmerizing as well. And so we looked at those events and tried to find a way where we can wrap a narrative around those events and have those events also as a character in the film. So they have a purpose, they serve a meaningful purpose to the main protagonist as he's trying to discover himself.
And
sorry. As a coming of age film, what did you want the audience to take away when they're watching this?
I guess, I mean, for me, it was the main thing is about living in the moment, really. Is because, youth can be quite fleeting. And when you watch this movie, you'll notice it breaks a few laws, you could say, on narrative filmmaking in a way. I don't want to spoil too much, but it is kind of, youth is fleeting. And something quite special about study abroad, people go and study abroad for a small amount of time, be it a few weeks or a few months. And it's kind of strange, but everyone's really puts themselves out there just for those few weeks and few months, because it's never going to come back again. And that's almost like a metaphor for life or even youth in a way. It's just like, this is it, right here, right now. And I think the protagonist isn't really living in that moment at the beginning. He's defined by his relationship. He's not really in the present. And I think at the end, it's the audience, I hope, come out of it and kind of feel kind of like want to carpe diem and that sort of thing, really live in the moment. And I think that's one of the strongest themes in the film, because it starts to shift in the middle to be more nostalgic, and it reminds people about their first times that they went abroad and things like that. So I think it's a very, very interesting
I think
moment.
Pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
Day. So.
Yeah, I think we all appreciate about going abroad and things like that, and think about things like that. And I think the next holiday we all take, we're going to be making the most of it.
Yeah. And just a final question, Abid. I don't know if it would be fair to say this, but Granada almost sounds like a character in of itself in the film. And so how do you describe, I guess, your, be it relationship or your memories or your time with or in Granada, and how do you view that now, especially now you've made an homage to it, if you will?
That's a very good question. I don't think there's a simple answer to that. I mean, I always, I see Granada not just as a character, but like almost an ensemble, because there's so many different parts of Granada. And in this film, we delve into different parts, and I had different relationship with different parts. And I think there was something very kind of cleansing from making this film, because not only did I capture that experience when I was back in 2006, but I also captured it behind the camera. We put everyone together, and I felt like I relived that moment twice. And my relationship with the city it's kind of strange. It goes up and down. Sometimes I just don't want to think about it and stay away. Sometimes I miss it massively, like especially this year. But I think certain locations around the world have this energy, and you sometimes can connect to places, and it is the people, it is the place, but there's something kind of a little bit magical in it. And yes, it's a very complicated relationship. It's not straightforward love either. It can be quite testing and trying, and but it's very connected to me, and I can't really explain why. I mean, it's created this obsession to make this film.
Awesome. Well, Abid, thank you very much for taking the time to join us. And yeah, we look forward to seeing Granada Nights. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, both of you. Cheers.
Cool.